What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Mikey's vlog. The purpose of this video is to show you guys that there is a ton of add-ons and parts and little gadgets that you can buy for your W204 in order to change the aesthetics of the car and turn it into an extension of your personality. If you're like me and you like to be unique, it's important to me that I drive something that represents me and is also an extension of my personality and my style and, you know, just my overall persona. So without any further ado, I'm gonna let the bling speak for itself. Okay, now just starting from the front of the car to the back, the first thing I wanted to show you is just this little bling coolant lid right here. So I've got the black and red color code happening in my engine bay. Now, there are other colors you can buy of this coolant lid, but I chose red because I personally think black and red just looks so friggin' gangster. Okay, now, moving on. Okay, now, but the next thing I've got is these carbon fiber side mirrors. Now, these aren't the actual replacement part. This is actually just a stick-on. What do you think, guys? You tell me, comment below and let me know. Okay, and then moving to the side of the car, I chose to option for these wind deflectors because I wanted ones that either clipped on with little clips and screws, but this specific model, it simply slides in under the pillar here, and then you use these four metal tab prongs and you shove them in there in order to hold it, and so it doesn't come out. Now, as you can see, that's right on there. But the main concern I had about installing these wind deflectors was to be able to remove them on and off easily if I wanted to wash the car, and, you know, if there was dirt caught in there in any way. So that's why I optioned for these ones. And then moving to the back of the car, keeping the color code again, I have this red gasoline fuel cap, and that just sits in like so. Okay, and then we have Mudguards. Now everybody has to have these center hubcaps and the tire valve caps. I mean, I know people can just steal these things, but, you know, it just gives your car just that little bit of added bling. And now, to get into the car. Okay, so first things first, as you can see, we've got the AMG style lock pins. So these just simply screw on. Well, only the front, okay? Don't get it twisted. Only the front screw on like so. Oh, and I've just also put Harmon Kardon here. You know, maybe it's a bit overdone for you guys, but, you know, I personally don't mind it. I think it looks really nice. Okay, and then I've also got the back adjuster. So, you know, for your back as you sit, it adjusts this part here of the car. So I used to have a red ring in here, but then I removed that because I had to remove the EIS. I've got these here because I hate the way the sun cracks the dash. You know, over time it gets brittle. And then, you know, after a while it can actually start to crack and then deteriorate. So that's why I have this little dash cover here. Just a closer look at the carbon fiber up there. Yeah. And that matches this carbon fiber on the wheel nicely, as you can see. This is just a sticker, guys. It's not a replacement part. It just sticks straight on like that. The carbon fiber trim moves on to the back, and another Mercedes bling symbol right there, and this is just also another bling speaker. There's actually not even a speaker in there, guys. It's just a fake tweeter grill. Then you have the rear lock pins. Okay, guys, now in order to replace these with these style lock pins, you actually have to remove this whole rear door panel. Do not, for the life of you, try to just install it this way, because you will break it. And I'm going to show you why in just a second. Now, the first thing we need to do, we need to remove T2, T30, or you can use T27 or T30 Torx Torque screws, and then you need to remove that one there, and there's another one right here as well. I've already removed them. To use a trim removal tool, and we get it in between here and pry it open, and then work our way all the way around like so. Okay, now once you have that removed, then you can free it up. Go. And now that we've unclipped all those clips, now we can actually pull the door off. Okay, now after you've used your trim removal tool and you've pried it out, then simply just lift it and then lift it up. And then it just comes off like so. What you have to do is disconnect the door lever. So all you do is you pull this and then that's it. It just unclips like that. Now, in order to remove this, you have to squeeze on these two prongs, and then you pull down, and then the whole thing comes out like so in here. Okay guys, now after you remove the door handle lever and the lock pin, the only thing connecting the door is now the wires for the control and the LED light. Now, in order to disconnect it, the push clip is underneath, so all you have to do is push it and then pull it back like so for both of them. And now that frees up your door completely, and you can set that aside just like that. Now that's it, and that's how you remove the. In order to replace this door pin, like I said, all you have to do is use a little flathead and pry it around it slowly, and you'll start to see it will slowly come off. And then in order to install the new lock pin, some of them actually come with the correct style locking mechanism inside, where it has like a little lever, and then once you push it on, it clips over the top. You need to make sure that your locking pin clips over the top and locks into place. Now, I was having difficulty with that because for some reason this wasn't locking over the top. So in order to, I just used a little bit of hot glue, and then I put some in there and I just sat it over the top, and now it's permanently on there. I don't never have to worry about going back to the factory locking pins, because obviously I'm going to leave these on for life. Now, in order to replace the door back, you just have to do everything in reverse. So make sure you have all your clips in place. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And this is what clips into the holes. So when you use your trim removal tool, you're getting it in here and then prying it out like that, just so it unclips from the holes that it was sitting in. In order to put the door back in, the first thing we want to do is re-plug these back in. So you just plug them in. It's color coded, red and blue, so you can't get that wrong. You just plug that in. Make sure you give it a tug so that they don't come out. And then just like before guys, we want to put the door lever back on. So you sit it in its, the door handle, and then there's a little bit of cable here. The cable has to sit in its groove, which is here. The cable must sit in here, and then it also must lock into here. Make sure it's seated all the way in. You simply grab your door lock pin, like so, and you push it through here, like so. Comes out the top, and you will feel it lock into place. There we go. Now that's locked into place. So you want to make sure you feel it clip into place. Okay guys, now when you reinstall this pin, you need to make sure that these two tabs here that open up, like so, as you can see it opens up, these two have to lock over. You need to make sure that those two prongs, those two tabs I showed you, lock over the top of here, and that's what secures it so that the locking mechanism can work freely. Let's make sure all 8 of these orange tabs are in place. And last things last, you want to grab this, and like I explained earlier, it needs to sit over those 2 tabs that I was showing you. Here we go. That's it, guys, perfect. And just test it, make sure it works. And now, in order to reinstall it, make sure it lines up, and it has to be as close to the window as possible, like so. Now, see how there's that little gap here? There shouldn't be a gap here. It should be flush all the way in, like so. There we go. And now you just clip it back into place. There we go. And that's it, guys. That's done. Now look, as you can see, it works perfectly. And now all we need to do is put these 2 T30 Torx screws back in, and we're done. If you look at the rubber mats, I put rubber mats in, all-weather rubber mats, and then I added, these are genuine Mercedes-Benz ones as well, then I added this beautiful cute little symbol right here. As you can see, I've changed all the LED bulbs in the car. As you see here, I've added this cool little silver matte bezel in order to match all the buttons I showed you on the front door over there. As you can see, the color scheme goes on to the next door with the carbon fiber also. And then I've added Harmon Kardon onto the rear speakers as well. And this is what I was talking about, like the front door, another door handle storage. As you can see, it just slides in, guys. Looking at the center console, as you can see, I've got that carbon fiber throughout. And then seat belt covers, and basically they just stop anything from falling under. Okay, now, and then to match my pedals, I installed the footrest right there, and that just sticks on as well with the same color scheme. I've also got a little bit of carbon fiber just wrapped around there. I just wanted to keep the carbon fiber throughout. And then looking at the steering wheel, I have that red ring that I installed. Okay, that just simply sticks on. And continuing on through, there's the silver there on the glove compartment. And I love doing this. I always put the same model car in my car, a small version, and I just think that looks really cute and cool. My missus loves it as well. Then moving on there, around the light switch over there, as you can see, I've only got one side at the moment. Then door jamb. See there? I've got them for all 4 corners, all 4 doors, sorry. Okay, here's another one right there. And then it's the same thing on the other sides as well. And for the front, I optioned for these in order to match the side compartment. So the fronts are the same, and then the rears have the other style Mercedes seatbelt cover. And yeah, see, that's basically it, guys. Okay, then I've got the carbon fiber trim wrap, and I've got this cute little Mercedes-Benz bling symbol here. It just gives it that look like the W205s. And then I've covered all the buttons in this matte silver, and I just think that looks so gangster, guys. I mean, check that shit out. And then I've also got this stick-on speaker cover, and that just looks so gangster. And then I just added the Harmon Kardon sticker right there just to give it that little bit of bling. And then I've also done that down here, and I do have the Harmon Kardon upgraded system, so yeah, that does make sense. And then it's basically a storage compartment for your door grab handle, so it simply just slides in like so. And basically, if you're like me and you just want as much storage as possible, I mean, look at that. Now you can put, like, you know, your mobile phone or, you know, pens and little loose things inside here, and I have them on all 4 doors. This goes for a lot of the silver bling that I have in my car. This carbon fiber
All that I had to get wrapped by somebody, so you know, that's not something I can show you how to do, but I just wanted to show you an example of some of the things that you can add to your car to make it look nice. And for this Mercedes-Benz symbol as well, it's just like the front door, they're just double-sided adhesive, and so is this. This is also just double-sided adhesive as well. So as you can see, I just lined it up and I stuck it on. Now these are for the front door, but for the rear doors, they're a little bit different. You actually have to pull apart the door, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute. Okay guys, now the trunk handle is the same. It's simply just double-sided adhesive, and even this part here. Now when it comes to sticking it on, guys, make sure that you do line it up carefully, because if you don't line it up carefully, you're going to have it all crooked and it's not going to look flush like so. See, even for this, as you can see how I've just missed that little bit there, and there's a little hole, but it still looks pretty good, so I'm still happy with it. But it would have been, here we go. Now I just fixed it by lifting one side up, and now look at that, that's flush now. Now that's better, guys, there you go. Flush. Make sure you line everything up, and before you stick it on, and then make sure your buttons still press after you've applied the buttons on, the button covers, or we'll call them button covers, okay? And yeah, once you've lined it up and you're happy with it, then just stick it straight on. Okay guys, now I'm going to show you guys how to change all the LED lights in the car. Now for the dome light, it's actually pretty easy. They don't actually tell you this, but all you need is a card, and all you do is slide it in here like so, and just push straight up, and it unclips down. There you go. And then you can simply get to the bulbs and change them out. It's that easy. And then after you're done, just push it back up and it clicks back into place like so. And there you go. It's that easy to change those two. Now we can move on to the driver and passenger. So just want to use this. And there you go. It just drops down, and then you just change the light bulb. Same to the other side. There you go. And then it just pops down, and you can just change that light there. There we go. And then we just have to push it back in, like so, and we're done. That's how you change those. In order to remove the footwell light bulbs, what you have to do is pry it from the side like so, and as you can see, it just pops out like that. And in order to remove it, what you have to do is turn it counterclockwise, lefty loosey, righty tighty, and then the bulb, the cover comes off like so, and then you simply have to remove the bulb, pull it out, and then put a new one back in, and you're done, like so. And there you have it. And then you just have to put it back in and turn it to the right. But when you put it back in, you have to make sure that the tabs line up and it goes in like that. See, as you can see, it doesn't go in, so you turn it until it goes in, like so, and then turn it clockwise. And once you've done that, you simply have to just put it back in like so, and it clicks back in. Okay, here we are on the passenger side footwell, and now as you can see, it's the same procedure. So all you have to do is pry it out like so, and like I said, they do pry out a certain way, so give it a swig both ways, and if it doesn't come out, then you know it has to come out the other way, like so. And then as you can see, it's the exact same procedure. Once it pops down, you turn it counterclockwise and it comes out. Then you simply pull out the bulb, put a new one in, and that's it, you're done. Replace it like so, and there you go guys, perfection. Okay guys, so in order to remove this rear dome light, all you have to do is you can actually use the card if you want, but I'm just going to use this trim removal tool just to show you guys how it's done. This here, in order to remove these, you can just use your fingers and do it like so, and just turn it counterclockwise, but to make it easier, just get a big flathead in there. Make sure it's the same size as the slot because if you get a flathead too small and then you try to turn it, it's just going to tear the inside. Just do this, and that comes out like so, and then you just simply change the bulb and then put it back in. Make sure it's a snug fit as well. You don't want it to be loose. Do the same to the other side as well. In order to refit it, make sure you line up these silver prongs here with these tabs. Now, in order to remove this piece so we can get to the light bulb here, you have to pry it up from these 4 tabs. There's 4 of them. One here, there's one there, and another one here. So all you have to do is pry it up. Be gentle as well, guys, because you don't want to break these prongs. Okay, and there, guys, comes apart like so, and then you just have to change this prong here, and that's it. In order to change these to the Mercedes-Benz light up logo, all you have to do is get your pry tool, your plastic removal tool, under the light bulb, under the light, and then simply, once it comes out, it just pops right out like that, guys. If you look carefully here, there's tabs here that line up with the plug. Right there. It lines up with this here. So make sure you have that lined up like so, as you can see. And then it simply plugs back in, and you just plug it straight back in like so. And there you have it. That's how you change the door lights. And just to remove it, it's that easy, guys, you know. All you got to do is pry out here and simply press the tab in here. There's not much room, so you might need a tool, but basically I just press on that tab and pull it out, and then it's that easy to install welcome logos, guys. So to remove this trunk LED light, you just have to pry it from here like so, and that's it. And it's just like changing the other window visor LEDs, the same procedure as you can see. That's it, and then you just push it back in. That's it, and that's it, you're done. Okay, guys, now as for the glove box light, all you do is pry it from this side, pull it down, and then it's the exact same procedure to change this light bulb. Then just simply replace the bulb, and once you're done, just put it back in, and that's it, guys, you're done. That's how easy it is to change the glove box on. Okay, guys, now as for the front mudguard, they actually come with screws that they give you in order to make it fit. But I did an option to use those screws because I didn't want to start drilling holes into my frame, because as you can see, there's a hole here. There's a hole right here for your frame, and I think they expect you to put a screw through here to hold it more flush, but I didn't want to do that. So all I did was I drilled into this rubber bit. Now make sure there's nothing back here that you drill into, so you don't have anything else back here. Now it is hollow behind here, so I used the screw they gave me, and I just screwed it in there, and then I used the 2 push clips that come with the car that secure this piece. All you're doing is putting this in the way first, and then putting the push clips back in, and that's all I've used to secure this front mudguard to the body. You can see it still looks pretty darn good, guys. Okay, there you go. It still looks pretty OEM, if you know what I mean. And it's exactly the same for the other side, guys, so I'm not going to show you how to do the other side because it's the exact same procedure except it's on the other side. Okay, now for the rear mudguard, it's a bit different to the front mudguard. All you have to do is use the push clips that they supply and that 10mm plastic bolt right there. So you remove that bolt, these 2 push clips, and the T20 Torx bit under here, right there. There's a T20 Torx bit right there. So as long as you line it up with the 2 push clips here and that 10mm plastic nut there, and this T20 Torx screw right here. As long as you line it all up, it will all fit snug, just like mine is. As you can see, I'm shaking it back and forth. It moves a little bit, but it's actually very secure. And you know, I don't ever have to worry about that ever coming off.
Okay guys, now in order to get to this bulb and the two license plate bulbs, you actually have to remove this whole area, including this rear piece, these two pieces, the entire inner trim piece, and this chrome piece as well. In order to do that, we have to remove 11 clips. You'll see them all. There's one there, here, and on the sides. And in order to remove them, you can just use a flathead or a trim removal tool. And all you got to do is get underneath it and pop it out. Now be very careful if you're using a flathead like me. So it just simply sits in and it clips in from these clips here. So all you got to do is get underneath it. Now it is very flexible, so it's easy to get underneath it. Once you get underneath, just pry it up and it pops up. Okay, I'll show you again just here. So you just get your screwdriver underneath it like so, and just pry it up. Now be very careful because you don't want to break them or rip them either. There's a total of 11 of them, and once you've done that, the first thing we want to do is take off these pieces. Okay, and in order to remove this, all you have to do is press. You'll find that there's two straps behind here. Just press it together and it just simply unclips, like so. That's the easiest way that I have found to remove it. And then you just simply have to pull it down and it's off. Now this is what I mean. See how it clips in right here? It just clips over here. So when you squeeze it, it just comes right off, guys. Look, see? Just like that. And then you can pull it off and sit it down. Same to the other side. So what you want to do is squeeze and you hear that clip. And then you pull it back. There's the other one. Then pull down and pull out. Now this one I'm just going to leave here because there's actually a thing attached here. You can remove it because it simply just clips on. But I'm just going to leave it there because it's not going to do anything. It's not going to go anywhere. Now the next thing we're going to want to do is remove 4 T20. 4 T20 Torx screws. So I've already removed 3, but I've just left one in there to show you. There's one there. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now once you've removed that, you can actually pull this piece down and get to this light already. All you want to do is pull straight out and then it just comes down. Now, as you can see, there's the bulb here. Turn it to the left, free it up. Now look, the whole piece is removed. Then you simply replace the bulb like so. Then next thing we're going to want to do is remove our safety triangle. There's a lever here, just press down and there you go, that comes down. Set it aside. And now in order to remove this, what you have to do is, there's 4 clips. The bottom ones you pry upwards and the top ones you pry down. And it should just come out like so. There we go. And last one. Bottom one you pry up and the whole piece just drops down, guys. There we go. Look at that. So this is what I was talking about here. As you can see, there's four of these. So the bottom ones you push up the clips, and the top ones you push down the clips like so. As you can see here, that's the top one, and there's the bottom ones here. And then you set that aside. Okay, now this whole back piece will drop out like so. There you have it. You just set that aside. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to want to do is, actually, there's 2 T20 Torx screws here as well, and that's going to allow this to unclip. So we get our tool again, T20. It's probably easier to remove the number plate, but you don't have to. So just get that in there and then unscrew. Two of them, there's two T20s. One there and another one here, okay? And set that aside. There we go. Make sure you guys know where the screws are going as well. Don't just, you know, lose any of them. Okay, now this comes the hardest part, the harder part, not the hardest, but the harder part. Now what we have to do is unclip this piece. But before we do that, we have to remove another two T20 torque screws. Okay guys, now in order to free up the trunk handle and remove it, there's actually two T20 torque screws, one there and there's another one just on this side here, as you can see. Those two T20 torque screws are what you need to remove in order to free it up, and then you can actually begin to push out the chrome tab. Now the chrome tab is actually held in by these tabs here. There's three of them. Okay, that's one there. If you move over here, there should be one more. There it is there. And another one to the side over here. There it is there, right there. 1, 2, and 3. And in order to remove these, you actually need needle nose pliers. Okay. And clip it and push out. And then, now it's a bit harder. It's not as simple as just doing it. You actually have to make sure you clip it right and then push it through, and that's what allows you to unclip it. So I'll give it a go and show you guys. Okay, so first things first, we need to remove the two trunk Torx bolts. Okay, and in order to do that, I use a tool like so. Next thing we're going to want to do is get some needle nose pliers, and what we're trying to do is grip these tabs and push them through. Okay. It's one. It is a bit hard, so you just have to take your time. Okay guys, now we're at the stage of actually removing the license plate bulb housing. All you have to do is go inside and squeeze on these two prongs, and it will simply just come out like so. And there you have it. It's out. I've already installed one side, so I'm just going to install the other side now. Now, be very careful guys, because as you can see, these pieces are fragile. I've actually broken one side here, but that's okay because you only need one side to clip it in, because it's also held in by that trim piece that we just removed. And in order to fit this, you want to angle it in from the bottom first, okay? Because it doesn't fit in properly unless you put in the bottom first, okay? Now, I'll show you what I mean. Like so. And clip it in. There we go guys. Perfection. And then how these plug in, you'll see the piece at the back. I'll actually show you again. And also guys, don't forget that if for some reason your bulb isn't working, because they're not reverse polarity, it just means that you got to turn it around. So as you can see, if I had installed the bulb this way, it wouldn't work. But all you got to do is turn it around and voila. There you go. Okay, now for reinstallment guys, here we go. The first thing we're going to want to do is reinstall that trim piece. And we simply line it up like so and push it back into place. You need to hear the clicks. If they don't clip in, then they're not actually insecure. Then the next thing we want to do is put the trunk handle screws back in. About 2 screws, and we want to thread it by hand first because it's hard to get a tool in there. So I just do it like this. Reach it behind, you'll see the hole where the screw goes in, like so, and just simply turn it in. Okay, and then once you have it snug with your hands, you want to get your tool and start to tighten it. So now, what we have to do is put back the trim piece. You want it to hold it in with this. Okay, so we open it up. You don't have to, but I do, just so I can see it put back in place. And there you go. Just like that, boys and girls. Then reinstall the triangle. Make sure it clips in. There you go. Now, to reinstall this, make sure that you have the cabling here tucked in, and make sure these two, the clips that I showed you before, make sure they come around the hood handle. Okay, and this has to tuck in here. You'll see what I mean when you're doing it yourself. There we go. Make sure the lines line up, and get this piece of rope back in here. Goes there. That's that. And this has to clip in. So does this one. There we go. Then we can start to put in our trim clips. There's one. Make sure the holes line up. 2, 3, 4. Only goes, these 3 only go on after you put the trim piece back on. So these other ones can go on already. Now, what I meant before was make sure these are pulled out. Don't just try to pull it in, or else you're going to break it. And the cabling sits in this groove here. Okay, so now that you've got the bulb changed, you want to replace it. And how you do that is, as you can see, all you do is line it up, replace your bulb, line it up, turn it clockwise, and it locks back into place, like so. Then you line it up, like so. Make sure your screws are lined up to the holes, and then hold them in with the clips first. It's 1. 2, and number 3. That's it. And then now we put in the 4 T20 Torque screws back in. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then don't forget, guys, we have these other 2 screws as well, and they are for the rear trim piece. Okay. There we go. Snug fit. And that's everything, guys. As you can see, it's all back together, and that's beautiful. It does require a little bit of work, but you know what? In the end, it's worth it, because it looks so much better than just having those T10 LED bulbs. It's so much brighter, and you know what? That kind of makes a statement. Well, there you have it, guys. That's it for another video. So please remember, do whatever you got to do. You know, share, do all that shit, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. I really hope you guys are enjoying what I'm doing, because I really am very passionate about my car, and I'm really passionate about sharing knowledge. So please, if you do enjoy the video, and if you know, or even if you just find it amusing, or if you don't like them, or there's something I can do to improve them, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback and your comments, because that's what I'm here for, guys. I'm here to help you guys as well. So, you know, the more you guys like, subscribe, and spread the word, share it, the more I can do for you guys, okay? So, again, this is Mike with Mikey's Vlogs signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next video.